F&I anxiety. Let's talk about that for a minute. Quite frankly, it's not talked about enough. I think one of the reasons it stays under the radar is because no one wants to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it because they don't want to be the weird guy or gal that has something that someone else doesn't have. But here's the deal. A lot of F&I managers get this same syndrome, okay? Now, what causes F&I anxiety? There's two main things, and it usually happens with people who are new to the business. They've been in the chair for 2 years or less, or even veteran F&I managers who recently switched to a different dealership, whether that's a dealership just across town, different city, different state. Okay. There's two main things that cause it. Number one is the pressure from going to a new dealership or starting a new career. There's the pressure to perform well. There's the pressure to keep your job. There's the pressure to prove yourself. There's the pressure from seeing your colleagues do big numbers and you wanting to keep up with them. There's all that pressure, and it can sometimes get to a point where it's too much, and it causes you to actually lose deals. Your PVR goes down, your self-esteem goes down, you're not performing it at the highest level you can, your process starts to slip, etc. That's the first one. The second one, and this is something that I actually struggled with many years ago when I first started, and that's the feeling that a customer is judging you. And this happens to a lot of first-time F&I managers. They get in the F&I office and they think they're going to rock the world, and they eventually do. But they sit in that chair and customer after customer after customer comes in, and what they weren't counting on is after customers get them objection after objection after objection after objection, and they try to overcome them, and they do overcome them, it's those objections start to chip away at them. It's those objections kind of create a seat in them, and it kind of chips away at what they actually believe. They could start as an F&I manager day one, believing in every product they sell, and by the time day 90 hits, they start to doubt their own products because their customers doubt them, and they've given them every objection that they can think of. And when you are constantly degraded and degraded and degraded, and your products are put down and put down and put down, it chips away at your self-esteem, but it also chips away at your belief in what you're selling. It doesn't matter if it's F&I products or cars or toasters. If someone is telling you day after day after day that it's not worth it, that it's a scam, that it's not good, that they'll not pay the money, your belief in that product starts to go down, and you don't even quite realize what's happening. All you know is you get a little nervous every time a customer walks in the room. And you get a little nervous until you get to the point where you can tell whether they're going to give you another hard objection, another hard no, or whether they're going to go along and try to see whether an F&I product works for them. That's something a lot of new F&I managers deal with. And it could take a couple, 2-3 years. I've seen F&I managers 3 years in who say, when a new customer walks in the door, they still have a little bit of nervousness in them. And they get through it, but it creates difficulty. And the real trouble with this is when you have this F&I anxiety, you can get through the day fine, but at the end of the day, you're just exhausted. You're just like, it takes more out of you to fight through that than it would just anyone else who was in the F&I chair and didn't have that. The good news is you can get over it. I got over it. Millions of other F&I managers have gotten over it, and you can get over it too. And the key is, especially for point number 2, is to know in your heart, your products are worth it. Your products benefit your customer. Your products save a lot of customers a lot of money. And one way you can really show this is by going to the service center and talking to the service manager and seeing all the customers, and there's hundreds of them at any dealership, that have saved money by having a service contract, that have saved money by having tire and wheel, that have saved money by having the maintenance plan. Okay? Once you believe in your heart that those products are worth every cent that you are charging them and more, it is much easier to sit in front of a customer and tell them, sir, this product is worth it. This product is going to save you money, and you have no hesitation. You have no anxiety. You have no misbeliefs. And no matter what objection they hit you with, no matter how many times it gets slammed, you know it is not a bad product. Think about it this way. You have a child, for example, and someone keeps telling you your child's bad at this and your child's no good, but you know in your heart that's not true. You know that your child is a good child and they're good at this and they're good at that and they have great qualities. No, so no matter who tells you that there is issues with them, you know that they are wrong. And nothing that they tell you is going to change your mind on that. It should be the same with your F&I products. No matter what objection comes, you should not be deterred by that. No matter what objection that you get hit with, you should know that what they're saying isn't true. They're just saying it from a standpoint of ignorance. They don't know all the information yet, and it's your job to give them that information. Once you're able to do that, that anxiety will just float away. Same thing with number one. People who struggle with having to keep up with their peers, having to just try to prove to their boss, their GM, their owner that they deserve the job that they got. A lot of that's about process. If you stick with your process, if you don't let the fears and anxieties of the last customer who just did not purchase a product keep you down, then a lot of that will melt away. If you know every single customer who walks in the door is going to get 100% of your products 100% of the time with your full exuberance and your full explanation of benefits, things kind of sort themselves out. Okay? I hope this lesson was helpful for you. But the main key in this lesson is know that you are not alone. There are many, many F&I managers who have dealt with F&I anxiety. Almost no one talks about it, but it's a real thing, and it's something that you should be aware about and know that you are not alone with.